I know, it's gonna get longer like Leonidas, but it's gonna be like Old Man Logan like Leonidas because of the gray. Hey guys, what's up? JD here, and CES is all wrapped up for 2020. So here's a list of all the things that I thought were really cool, and one specific thing that absolutely blew my mind that I feel like nobody is really talking about. I'll get to that a little bit later on in the video. But before we start, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss the next video. First up, we're gonna talk about probably the biggest surprise of the entire show, and that was Sony unveiled an electric car. Yep, that Sony. It's called the Sony Vision S. It actually looks pretty slick, and in a very Sony fashion, there are touchscreens all over. Your side mirrors are just cameras, and so is your rear view mirror, and they also focused on incorporating 360-degree audio throughout the car. They even put speakers in your headrest, which sounds cool on paper, but I can only imagine is super distracting while you're driving. Now, the cameras for your side and rear view mirrors aren't the only ones that they put on the car. They put them absolutely everywhere. Sony wanted to make sure that every inch of the road and the surrounding environment could be mapped for future fully autonomous driving, and they also added cameras to recognize both the driver and the passenger. So when you get in the car, it will recognize you and adjust your seat, the temperature, and audio settings to your presets. It's also sporting a built-in dash cam that not only comes in handy for accidents, but it can be used to create fun little video montages for your driving adventures for those long road trips. Sadly, for now, this isn't even a car that's coming out. It's more of Sony's proof of concept that their technology can not only work in a car, but can compete with the leading electric cars like Tesla. My bet is that the Vision S will never see the light of day for general consumers. You'll never see it driving around on the road. However, I do think that the tech incorporated within this concept will actually be bought out and used by other manufacturers who have a little bit more experience in the electric car field. Either way, it's exciting because it's obvious that the tech world has embraced the electric car model and wants to push it forward into the future. And I could be completely wrong, but again, I don't think that any of us are really going to be driving this car out on the road. I think the only way that any of us are going to be driving this car is in the next Gran Turismo game that's coming out probably on the PS5. Next up is TVs, and more TVs. And I feel like TV is one of those words that if you say it enough times, it just kind of like loses its meaning, like TV. TV. I am slowly losing my mind. CES for a while has more or less been primarily a new TV tech show. Basically, it's been an excuse for TV manufacturers to make TVs just more and more expensive. There were 8K TVs as far as the eye could see, even though there's barely any true 8K content that exists to take advantage of those screens. You have rollable, foldable, and even see-through TVs, and then you have this, the Samsung Zero. This is a rotating TV that will automatically flip from a horizontal orientation to a vertical orientation depending on the way that you flip your phone when it's paired. Samsung stated that it is designed for the mobile generation, which I can kind of see them taking the bait with this whole trend of vertical videos with YouTube, Instagram, and even TikTok, but I don't really see anybody having these in their house. The reason I don't think anybody's gonna buy this thing is, for one, its price. It's set to come out for $1,600, and in a market where you can get a 4K TV for less than $300, depending on the size, I don't really see the rotation feature being a $1,300 premium people would be willing to pay for. Second, it only comes in 43 inches, which makes sense since rotating anything bigger would require a much larger and heavier stand. And third, that stand. You can't remove it from the TV. It's permanently a part of the TV, which means no wall mounting. And yes, this is a new type of technology, so maybe that's where a lot of my skepticism is coming from. And to be fair to them, they are stepping into unknown territory with this type of feature on a TV. So a lot of times in tech, even if the initial thing doesn't necessarily work, sometimes it inspires something else from that. And that in turn turns out to be pretty cool. I am really trying to spin this thing to be as positive as possible, but this thing is weird. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know if it's weird. But before we move on from TVs, there was one really amazing piece of news that came out of CES. Vizio is getting into the OLED game, finally! OLED TVs have sort of been the mecca for TVs in the past few years, but they've been just so expensive, most ranging from $2,500 to $4,000. But Vizio is known for offering TVs at a more reasonable price for nearly identical quality to the bigger competitors like LG, Sony, and Samsung. Now, pricing has not been announced for the Vizio OLED series, but if they can get those TVs for under $1,500 for a reasonably sized TV, that would completely slash all of the entry prices for all OLEDs across the market, which is good for me, good for you, it's good for everybody. Now, staying on screen, starting big with TVs and then moving on down in size, we're talking about foldable tech, specifically foldable screens, and it seems to be here to stay. Last year, it started with foldable phones like the Samsung Galaxy Fold, which despite its troubling launch, I did still enjoy it for the limited time that I got to have hands-on with it. Now, I have been on record multiple times saying that foldable tech is cool in phones, but that's not really where the tech belongs. It belongs in tablets, people. Nobody believes me. Nobody wanted to think that it was gonna be a thing, but they were absolutely everywhere in CES, and the prime example of this was Lenovo's ThinkPad X1 Fold. It has a 13-inch screen and can be folded closed completely to make it more compact, safe, and secure, but could also be folded halfway and have a magnetic keyboard be placed on the bottom half of the screen, turning it into a Chromebook-sized little laptop. It will have an Intel processor, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and up to 2 terabytes of storage, but don't expect this to be affordable anytime soon since the pricing starts at $2,400. And yeah, despite its price, and it's kind of a bummer, I don't think any of us are really gonna be owning one in 2020, let alone probably 2021. The thing that I'm really excited about is that the tech is finally moving forward, that the tech community and manufacturers are believing in this, and that is only a good thing for consumers, because I am really excited about having a foldable tablet that it can be nice and big whenever it's folded out and then closed in half. And now I have like sort of a smaller bite-sized thing that I can carry around with me. It's not quite so big. I'm just really excited for that. I could care less if a phone did that. I don't particularly care, but if a tablet does that, sign me up all day, every day. I'm in. Moving down in screen size once again, we have what I think is one of the most interesting pieces of tech of the show, and that's the Dell Alienware Concept UFO. This is a new handheld gaming console that takes obvious design cues from the Nintendo Switch. It has an 8-inch screen with controllers that can either be attached to the screen itself for handheld play, or configured in a more traditional fashion when you want to play your game docked on a bigger screen or in the kickstand mode. Now, what's interesting about this is that it's basically just a little PC with a screen. The idea behind it is that you can take PC games and PC level graphics with you on the go. Now, Dell hasn't really explained how any of this is going to work, how it's going to operate in the real world, but I am really excited because I love my Nintendo Switch so much, and I'm really happy that other gaming companies are finally starting to step into the portable gaming world. Now, last but certainly not least was the thing that I was most excited for, the thing that absolutely blew my mind at a CES, and I feel like nobody's really talking about it, and if they are, I don't feel like they're really giving it the credit and giving it the weight behind it that it deserves, and that is Neon. This is AI, artificial intelligence, on another level from a company with the same name, Neon. The company is only 4 months old, and this might have been one of the most hyped things for any CES ever. Neon went hard with their marketing. They said that the future of AI is finally here, that we have finally stepped into the future. This AI and these avatars are promised to be fully conversational, and this isn't going to be just a visual avatar of Google, Alexa, or Siri that will just spout out facts, but rather something that can act as a companion and take that in whatever creepy or non-creepy way that you want to. But these avatars looked almost too photorealistic to be believed to be computer generated, and come to find out, yeah, they were. It was way too good to be true. These that you're seeing are just videos of real people. However, these are the real people that the avatars will be based off of. The movements and conversations that these avatars will have will all be run on a platform that Neon calls Core R3, which is Reality Real-Time Responsiveness. This is a machine learning algorithm that will learn over time, and Neon hopes that it will blur the lines between what is reality and what isn't. Which sounds scary if you don't know the difference between machine learning AI and something like we think of in sci-fi with AI. Like, it's not gonna be like a Terminator or an Ex Machina where the thing becomes self-aware and it's coming after you because it sees you, a human, as obsolete. It's not what it's doing at all. All machine learning AI is trying to do is mimic human emotion, and over time, it'll just do it really well. Now, to be fair, the real-time demos on the floor ended up not quite living up to the hype. Honestly, they could have used another year or so to refine the software, allowing much more time for the algorithm to learn before showing it off. But don't let this year's showing fool you. Real sci-fi AI advancements are close, like really, really close, like in the next few years, kind of close. And while some of the demos from Neon were a little clumsy at times, it shows real promise because this was really just the first showing to a mass market of this type of machine learning AI. It will just get better and better over time, and Neon as a company has come really far in just 4 months. 2020 will be an interesting year to see how far they will advance this technology and how they'll implement it into our lives. Well, that's it. That was my list of the most exciting and craziest things out of CES. If you feel like I missed anything, make sure to place those in the comments down below. And while you're down there, if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell next to it so you can be the first to know when one of my new videos goes live. Hit the like button, all of that good and fun stuff. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I'll see you soon.